August 24th, that is the Saturday before the first game. We'll definitely check that out against FAU. Could have a true freshman at quarterback. A lot of those Big Ten quarterbacks, a lot of changes as well. Penn State, our least favorite team, is the favorite in the conference, so we'll see about all that. All right. So, if you were watching last night on our Driving with the Top, I was telling them after it was over, or I think I said it on camera. Sometimes we forget our state of the franchise. One of my favorite videos all year long, the state of the franchise. So this is not the President's State of the Union. This is the Ravens state of the franchise, because training camp officially was today. The first practice of training camp was today. Had a little scare from Zay Flowers, had a little bit of an injury, but he's okay. Got back on the field, finished practice as well. Jair Alexander looked really good in his first practice. So state of the franchise. So this is kind of, I always see this one as the beginning of the in-season. Training camp has officially begun. So let's go ahead and find out what is the state of the Ravens right now. That is right. John Harbaugh entering his 18th season as the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. So he is now, I had him on the hot seat last year, just signed a 3-year extension with the team. I think he's going to ride it out as long as we have Lamar Jackson in his prime. I think for sure that's going to be the case. I think you see a lot of that with those great coaches. They're going to stay as long as the quarterback stays as well. Can you believe this is going to be the 7th season now for Every Dollar Counts. Eric DeCosta is the GM. Ozzie Newsome for so many years was the GM along with Art Modell. Now Eric DeCosta, every job with the Ravens, college scouting, draft, etc., is taking the reins. 7-year, looking for his first Super Bowl. Todd Monken is his 3rd season, looking at head coaching jobs last year. Ultimately wound up not getting a head coaching job, they're getting him back. Same with Zach Orr. Defense was a little shaky at the beginning last year, made some changes. Defense, Zach Orr gets his job, gets to keep his job in his 2nd season. Defense expected to be one of the best in the NFL this season. Was one of the better ones at the end of the last season. And Chris Horton, again, can't believe 7 years. Chris Horton, gone. Not Jerry Rosberg, as well as the head special teams coordinator. Special teams under the gun, though, I would say, for the first time ever for the Ravens. Last year, Tucker not nearly as good. Some issues there. Special teams as a whole, tackling issues. For the first time, they weren't, I would say, a top 5 team as well. High standard for the special teams unit. So, who is it here? Who are we going to see? So, kind of go over some of this stuff during the offseason, but we'll go over it all here right now, okay? Nelson Aguilar is gone. No longer the 3rd receiver. As far as I know, he's still unsigned. Somebody in the comments correct me if he did go ahead and sign somewhere. Malik Harrison signed with the Squealers. So he's no longer there. Outside linebacker, he may start for them as well. Chris Board signed with the Giants. Second trip with the Ravens. You may see him at some point again. Special teams guy, etc. We may see him. Josh Jones didn't play nearly as much as they thought. He's going to play for former Raven assistant Mike McDonald in Seattle. Probably the biggest loss on the roster is Pat McCary. McCary, for so many years, was the 6th guy on the Ravens offensive line. Last year was the starting left guard. Gets a big contract with Jacksonville. Now he's going to be the starter there. Good for him. Probably your biggest loss on the offensive line, having to move Voorhees now as the starter. Josh Johnson is gone. You may see him again as a coach, signing with the Commanders. Brent Urban, John Harbaugh guy. I didn't see where he retired. He's not signed anywhere. He is going to be 35, I believe. So that's why he hasn't signed. I know John Harbaugh loves Brent Urban, but I think they've kind of filled his spot. I think maybe they'll call him up if they need him type deal or something like that, but he hasn't signed anything. Absolutely, Michael Pierce announced his retirement as well at nose tackle, so you're not going to have Pierce at all retiring from the NFL. Arthur Millette did sign with the Steelers and since then has been released from Pittsburgh. So he's not going to be playing this year. He's still, I think it's the Texans he's playing for. I think I saw that the other day where I think he signed with Houston as well. Jets, Brandon Stevens. Yeah. I don't think there was any way they were going to bring Brandon back. I think a lot of us can agree they did upgrade with Jair Alexander, etc. Brandon might be pretty good for the Jets. You never know. Tavarius Wright back with the Bills, so definitely played for the Bills before. Very familiar. Marcus Williams made news this week, definitely criticizing the Ravens organization for the lack of communication when they took him out. That could be true, but he didn't play well. I think ultimately, I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think like Marcus, that was the biggest upgrade during the course of the year when they took Marcus out. I think he signed with the Steelers. I think he signed with the team. I don't know. I don't know if that's right. I don't think he signed with the Steelers. And I'm aware of. Justin Tucker, the GOAT, he's definitely going to get a suspension whenever he does sign. Some people want Tucker back. I don't know if he's going to, if that door is open. I will say, you have rookie kickers. So they may have to, again, Ray fan might not be used to seeing this. They might have to change it 2 times or something during the year, depending on how the kickers do. They've looked good so far today on the first day. What's coming in to the team? Cooper Rush, I think, is the best backup quarterback the Ravens have had, maybe ever. Definitely now, if Lamar does miss some time, miss some practice, certainly at least even in practice now, you're going to be able to move the ball much better than you were before without Lamar in there. Note boom, I think, from the Rams as well. Definitely, I think they're going to look at him for the similar role that Pat McCarry used to play, guard, tackle. He has some versatility. I don't think he's great at any one position, but I think moving him around, I'm thinking that's the role. DeAndre Hopkins from the Chiefs. DeAndre is not the same player, was one of the best receivers in the league at one point. Good, solid third receiver at this point. Good contributor, and I know Lamar wanted to play with him. I know that's a factor why he's here. John Jenkins signs with the Raiders, from the Raiders, rather. Solid backup. So I think, like we talked about Brent Urban not being here, I think part of the reason you get a vet like Josh Jenkins in here as well, that's probably the reason why you don't have a big solid nose. Also, too, Michael Pierce retired. Need to go ahead and take care of that. Jake Hummel missed the first practice for the Ravens today. So we'll see special teams. It's going to be tough. That's a spot where the Ravens have had a lot of undrafted free agents come play well. So it'll be interesting to see that. Chibolo Gates, eventually I'll say it right, for the Titans. I think he got diminished with the next signing, Jair Alexander. I do think he makes the team. I think he'd be a good, solid fourth corner as well, or if there's an injury or something like that. But Jair Alexander, I think you could argue he's one of the better cornerbacks in the entire NFL as well. So outstanding signing for the Ravens there. That's what came in, free agent, trade-wise, etc. Draft picks. Malachi Starks, I think, was easy. To me, it was very easy. He was the best safety in the draft. They go ahead and get Malachi Starks. It got highlighted even more with the addition of Darius Washington actually going out for injury. Mike Green was a steal because of some off-field stuff. Mike Green was able to go ahead and become a good player in the offseason. I think he's the future of the pass rush for the team. Emory Jones is hurt here at the start, so I don't know how much they're going to have him. Teddy Buchanan is absolutely going to be competing with Trent Simpson for the starting inside linebacker as well. Carson Vincent, I think, is going to go ahead and become Carson Vincent is going to be like a developmental guy. I don't think he's going to play much at all. I think you're going to see him use him like the Ravens did Jarrett Gaither a couple years ago. He might play if they need him, etc. But I think he's going to be a sit. Blau Cone, I think he's going to have an uphill battle. I think these corners are going to have an uphill battle to make the team. I'm thinking practice squad for him. Tall, lean guy. I think you'll see him a lot in camp. Tyler Luke should be the Ravens' new starting kicker, replacing the GOAT, Justin Tucker. Luke was a very good player in college. I'm sorry, I didn't get that right. It's not Kentucky. I think it was Arizona. Sorry about that. So Javante Wester, point from Colorado, kick and punt returner, six round, 220 203rd pick. He's going to be your starter at punt returner. And Aeneas Peoples, outstanding, I think, as well. I think this is Brent Urban's spot right here for sure. I think he's definitely going to make the roster. Little smallish, that's the only concern, but definitely has the quicks. Last two, Robert Longerbeam and Jared Dillinger, practice squad. I'm thinking it is possible they could be good in camp. You never know. 5 biggest games on the schedule for sure. I'm not one of these people that's going to disqualify a week 1 game as one of your biggest games of the year. That's absolutely not true. You're going into the place where you got eliminated just like you did last year in Buffalo. Send a message right away. I think these are the 2 best teams in the AFC, the Bills and the Ravens. Bills, I think, improved their team, getting Jordan Palmer, etc. Measure yourself right away. So you know right away how much you got work to do with the Bills. If you're better than the Bills, you can get a psychological edge. There's no disadvantage to me to playing this in the first game. The team you have had the most struggle with, I don't think they're as good this year, but definitely Kansas City going into Arrowhead. I think Arrowhead might be the most difficult place to play in the entire NFL. So it's definitely going to be difficult to go into Arrowhead and win games. So I think they're still pretty good, but it'd be a good measuring stick. Can you now assert yourself against the Chiefs team, who's still pretty good, still with Mahomes and Reed and all that, etc.? Can you outplay them because you have a superior team? Interesting. Game of the year last couple years ago, the Rams and the Ravens. Ravens now one of the better teams, I think, in the entire NFL. So are the Rams. I think the Rams might be the best team in the NFC. Rams, you're going to have your work cut out for them. No mistake. No mistakes for the Rams. They are the new version of New England Patriots. Very few flags, very disciplined, etc. Rams, the next. Bengals, I think, are the probably next toughest competition in the division this year. Joe Burrow, I think, is MVP level quarterback, just like Lamar Jackson. A lot of people feel that he's the best quarterback in the NFL, along with Lamar. So we'll see about that. And of course, the Squealers always beat Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, I think, has closed the gap a little bit. They did go get Aaron Rodgers. They did go get Jalen Ramsey. They did go get I think they did get DK Metcalf. So they have done some things. It might work. So I think this will be tougher than maybe I thought it was a few months ago in Pittsburgh. 5 biggest storylines. Who's the best tight end on the Ravens roster? I don't know. It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see it all year. Pretty sure out the gate they're going to start Mark Andrews, I would think. As we go, we will see if they go ahead and go to Isaiah Likely more or if he gets more time. Both of these guys have enormous pressure on them. They're playing for their next contract, be it in Baltimore or somewhere else. Both of them will not get it as Ravens. We know that. Both of them will not be Ravens next year for sure. So we will see that play out. What role will DeAndre Hopkins play? Some people, I've seen it in the media and fans, I think they have a higher expectation for DeAndre than I think what you're going to see on the field. I think DeAndre is going to play well, but he's a third receiver at this point. No longer one of the best receivers in the league. I think like he can, not like you saw in Kansas City, when you need him, if there's an injury, if there's something, I think he's very comfortable with Lamar. So absolutely, I think that's a sign. It's just the best Ravens of offense of all time. I think on paper, I can't remember a better Ravens offense starting the season like this. First couple years, this is going to be my 4th football season. And actually, as a Ravens fan, now we're at year 30, almost 30 years old time since they've been a franchise. So I can't remember a better offensive group as far as on paper to start the season. You got Pro Bowlers at running back, potential Pro Bowl at wide receiver, Pro Bowls tight end, offensive line, on defense, of course. You're great on defense. So the roster is arguably the best roster in the league in the NFL. That's not purple colored glasses. A lot of people are saying that the best roster in the league. Malachi Starks and Mike Green help the defense. Malachi Starks is going to start for sure now with the unfortunate injury to Darius, who's probably not going to play at all this year as well. So Malachi Starks is going to start from minute 1. I don't think that's going to do anything but help him It's also going to allow Kyle Hamilton to kind of do what he does, be more of a Swiss Army knife as well. Where kind of last year they had to use him in a different role with the whole thing with Marcus and Derek. So I think you're going to see more of the Kyle Hamilton we've seen with Malachi Starks there. Mike Green, I think, is the future of the pass rush. I think he could be the present too. I think he's going to get as much opportunity to play. It could take some snaps from Kyle Van Noy, who's getting older. But Kyle Van Noy was great last year. So I'm not diminishing Kyle Van Noy in as well. And obviously the number one question, how is it going to go in January for the Ravens? And I think that's the question we all have. Can you beat Buffalo, Kansas City, or maybe somebody will surprise us? I don't think there's no flaws in this roster. You got coaching, you got defense, you got offense. You have the tools. You have to play better in the games in January when they count, and you have to finish and button up when it counts in January. So that's all we're worried about here. So there you go. State of the franchise for the Ravens. All right, so state of the franchise. We're looking good on paper. No problems here in July. Obviously, after the first practice, everything looks good on paper. Healthy too. I mean, we've had some